welcome to This Week in Business. I have the pleasure of Kingsley and Anthony here with me today. I love it, all three of us. How are you guys today?
The three amigos, fantastic.
We need like a fourth person to sit in the bottom corner or something like that. We'll get there. Just over there. So today I want to talk about networking, because obviously there's a lot of networking things starting to happen again. Although we did have that little COVID lockdown last week, we are in the Southwest back at everything. Life has returned to normal programming and we are back networking. We have a meetup group that anyone can join to find out when our networking events are. But today we want to generally talk about networking. So Anthony, did you want to kick off anything about networking and your tips?
Look, I'm going to actually let you drive today. I've got a couple of thoughts around why you network, and I think there's a little bit of controversy there, so I'll save that for later.
All right. Well, Kingsley, do you have anything you want to add about networking before I rant on?
Well, I guess, and I suppose I'm sort of expanding it a little bit to sort of referrally, sort of in a sense that to my mind is why most people are networking, was in the main they're hoping to get referrals from those people they're networking with. The main thing that in terms of I've read or any courses I've done or whatever on the topic is I think people don't understand the bit about how you have to be, in a sense, doing something that's very, very useful to them. The classic one for me, I don't know what Nancy's view on this is, and I'm not against it, but you will see you'll get an email from someone, and at the bottom of the email, it'll have something about, the best thing you can do for me is to refer someone. And it's, okay, mass marketers out there, percentages game sort of thing, but it just misses, to my mind, the point of sort of the other person is busy in their own life trying to grow their own business and sort of expecting that these other people are going to suddenly stop running their own business and try to get clients or customers for your business. So to my mind, a lot of it's about trying to find someone where you're going to be able to refer a lot to them, so that it makes sense, and in a sense you've got some obligation then that they have to refer back to you, sort of looking for that mutual thing. And it is a lot about what you can give them in the first instance that makes you very valuable to them, not looking about what I can get out of them and without giving them anything. And the other classic one, I guess, that also gets me is, my game possibly, I'm about to offend some bank managers, but bank managers are notorious for sort of, you refer them some clients and what they do is they give you a bottle of wine at Christmas. And you think, well, I'd rather you kept your bottle of wine and you referred me a client. And there's just no sort of thought on that side of thinking about what a value they can do or give you. And that's the bit that I think people miss with networking is don't be so focused on what Bill Bloggs can give you. Work out what you can give Bill Bloggs first of all, and then go from there. But that's doesn't seem to be what a lot of people do.
So I want to start my little spiel about networking. I know a lot of people have it in their minds about why they go networking, and a lot of people will say it's because I want to go and meet new potential clients, or I want to go and get new clients. I really want to burst that bubble and tell you, if that's why you're going networking, you're doing it wrong. I actually did a live into another group today about this, and it was specifically about online networking. So this, I want to talk about both face-to-face and online. But I think if you're going to something or responding to something on social media with your online networking with the intention to get a client, all you're actually going to do is turn people off you. If you are giving them rubbish information and just going out there like, here's my elevator pitch, give me your business, all you're going to be is like that person on social media who tags their business when someone says, hey, I'm looking for this. And then you go, oh, I can do that. And that's all you do is you just tag your business. It's like literally walking around and going, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me, which I don't know about you, but I don't walk down the street doing that. Do you walk down the street like that, Anthony?
I used to joke until I realised it wasn't funny, that the way people behave on a lot of social channels is that they go out and they say, hey, I've got stuff you can buy. Check out what I've got to say. And I'd say, no one would ever go to a networking function and hold up a sign saying, hey, I sell blah. But I was wrong. And it's not funny because it happens all the bloody time. And it's the reason I've stopped going to a lot of networking events over the years, is that I don't want to be sold. Truthfully, if you've got something that's interesting, or you know what you're doing, or you've got an interesting skill set or an interesting story to share with me, hey, I'm all ears. But listening to someone's pitch, something that I'm really not interested or looking to buy or looking to engage with, hey, move on. I've got a lot of better things to do with my time. And my little rant with this ties down to where the value in networking really is. And it's often, in fact, if you're doing it right, it's often not to you directly in the short term. There's a saying that you often hear, I think it's network marketers and other people in other industries quote, which is, your network is your net worth. And it sounds like it's going to put money in your pocket today and tomorrow. The truth a lot of the time is your real value is in networking is when you meet with somebody who's got a problem that somebody else can solve, and you can connect those two people. Now, I'm not talking in a Prince Andrew fixer type role where you pick up a 10% commission on the $100 million project, but I'm talking about the value that you've offered to both of those people by connecting them, that will come back to you somewhere down the track, 5, 10, 100-fold over, when they manage to connect and offer you a referral, which is of value to you, or somebody else offers a suggestion. So my big pitch against networking is, don't do it if you're expecting an ROI tomorrow or next week. In fact, in the many years I've been running a business now and previous experience, I've never had somebody I've walked out of a meeting cold who said, that's exactly what I want to do, is buy something to you that you've met out in the street. Most of the time, the value is being connected later when you've connected them to somebody else who's got a problem, or somebody else has fixed something up for them, and you've come back down the track. So don't expect it to be a short-term return on investment, but do look at it as an opportunity to expand your knowledge as to who does what where, who can solve other people's problems. So when you do hear those problems, you can say, I know someone who can help you.
I like to call them business friends. I like to think about it in the sense of, I'm going networking, both online and in person. I'm going networking to make business friends, because what do your friends do? Your friends talk nicely about you. Your friends will refer people to you. Your friends will advocate for your business when someone says, I need someone who does this. And they go, actually, I know someone that can do that. My friend, or I know so-and-so. So I like to think about it in that business friends. I'm going out to meet business friends. It is a nice way to think about it, but it helps, if you're not comfortable with going networking, it'll help you get there. I want to touch back on that, this thing about the sign, Anthony. That also really applies to online, as you mentioned. When people tag their businesses, like when I recently saw one in a group, a very large business women's group here, and it's a global group, but it's lots of women in town are in it. And someone put out there they wanted a VA, and it literally said, I'm looking for a VA, ... Can someone recommend one to me? Within an hour, there was 140 comments of virtual assistants who were just literally all just going, pick me, pick me, pick me. But all they were also doing was tagging their business, which is essentially like throwing your business card in someone's face at a face-to-face networking thing. You're just like, oh, and they go, oh, thanks for that. I can tell you this woman stopped actually liking people's comments after the first 5. And I suspect she probably turned off the comments and turned it off and was like, what have I done? So if you're looking at online networking, you really need to think about it in that same sense that you approach face-to-face networking. You need to think, am I adding value? Am I sharing a story? Am I helping and solving a problem for this person? Because as Anthony said, you want to solve those problems and you want to be in someone's mind as a solutions type person. You may not be the person that's actually going to do that person's work, but again, you're going to connect people. And that connection is then going to get people to know your business by going, that person really helped me out by connecting me to so-and-so. Oh, look, I've seen something that they do, and it comes around in circles. It's really also being about not attached to the outcome. Like, you go out and you do proposals for work, you talk to clients. You know, if you run a retail store and you have people walking in and out and not buying things, are you attached to the fact that they walked into your store, they looked at your products and they didn't buy something that day? They might come back in a week or two, or they might go, oh, that's a nice present for someone when someone's birthday's coming up. But you're not going home and crying in your cereal about the fact that one person didn't buy something. So it's about that when you're networking as well. You need to think balls in the air. That's how I like to think about it. Like you're juggling. Like there's a lot of things up in the air and things will come down to you when the time is right. Networking is the same. Anthony, I can see you want to say something there.
I'm going to ask you a tricky question without notice to get your thoughts. A lot of people find networking hard. They may be introverts,
yes.
They're shy. How do you get over that?
If you're an introvert and you don't really like networking, I highly recommend doing online networking first. So get into some social media groups, some Facebook groups where you get comfortable with providing those solutions. You get a bit more confident in your own business, because sometimes introverts don't necessarily have that confidence to go and talk to strange people, whereas if you're behind a keyboard and behind a screen, you can build that confidence. But I do recommend giving that online networking a go. Get into some groups. My recommendation about groups is less than 5,000 people. Any more than 5,000 people in a group, you will never be seen by someone in that group. So I use them as testing grounds for my online networking because I know no one's ever going to see them. Sometimes something comes out of it and I go, oh, that's exciting. But, you know, I spend time on online networking, which helps me be really confident when I go face-to-face networking. So that's my first tip for introverts. The second one is, if you're an introvert, find someone else that you know and go with them. Or at least, you know, connect with, you know, in our meetup group, for example, you can see who's going. So have a look at those attendees. If you know any of them, say, hey, can we show up together? Can we go together? Because it is much easier showing up to something with someone that you know than showing up blind and by yourself and going, oh, I don't know anyone, I'm running away. Because that's what happens. People do that.
I think the other problem you get is the, over situations where sort of someone's gone to one of the, some sort of trade meeting chain or whatever, and then you've got to sort of report back how many, like I might have gone and said, well, I had a good yarn to Bob and Mary, and that's it. I didn't get around to Tom, Dick, Harry, Frank, But I spoke to 17 different people. But I think we've all been at those situations where you've been on the other end of those people where you get that, you very quickly say, oh, yeah, okay, that person's realised they're not going to get anything out of me sort of thing. And they've asked me the obligatory questions about my wife and my kids, and now they're easing their way out.
Right. I think we all know one person in Bunbury that does that. I think we could all pinpoint one person in Bunbury who will work the room, and they literally will go up, they'll be super high energy and in your face, and they'll be like, blah, 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 they'll just like verbal vomit to you, ask a couple of questions, and then they'll be like, yeah, cool, I've got to go get another drink, and then they're on to the next person.
Yeah. And I think
Anthony, I'm sure if I told you the person's name, you'd know what I'm talking about.
I'm cold on it at the moment. I'm not cold in terms of no clue. But
it's very uncomfortable when people are like that. I literally go, oh, how do I get away from this?
I think it's also that it's the point is sort of with the introvert is you people are putting so much pressure on the introvert to say, well, you've got to get around 15 people at this first meeting you've ever gone to. No, you got all year. Just slowly meet all these people, and they'll know when they get to talk to you, they're going to have a real conversation with a person who's not trying to wheedle his way from you. That I think is a lot of the why introvert people fear it so much, because someone's put some sort of artificial pressure on them that they have to work the room, in the first go, sort of That's
One
my
more.
result.
Business cards. Are they still a thing?
Yes. And
Yes.
they are still important. They are still a thing, and they are still important because you want to meet the person that you're talking to where they're at. So you might have a conversation with someone and they might be like, let's connect on social media, or I'll follow your business page, or let's connect on LinkedIn. They might be that person. Or if they're an introvert, for example, they will much prefer a business card that they can go away and they can, in the nicest possible way, stalk you out and then, get an understanding of where you're at. So they are 100% still valid. I carry them in my handbag everywhere. I maybe only hand out 5 or 6 a year, but they very much still have a place in the world.
Okay.
So, well, that's my tips on networking. I could go on for ages about networking, and we are actually going to do an online masterclass about networking later in the year. So, lots of stuff that we talk about at the moment through this week in business. There are stuff that we're bringing into them, guys, but we did just want to touch on this because networking is back and we want to see people out there. And if you are an introvert, reach out. We'd love to be your little buddy to show up at those things.
Now, Louise, we have a couple of great networking, segue here, but we have a lot of great networking opportunities coming up. And one of the best places to find that I've seen over the years has actually, rather than an official networking event, it's been in-person, face-to-face learning experiences where you're sharing something valuable with a group of people. I know my daughter did the Lewin experience many years ago now, and she's made lifelong friends out of it because they shared that learning experience together. What have we got coming up that would be worth people attending if they're interested in both networking and improving their business?
Sure. If you want to do a casual networking, just an after work drink, we have one every month on a Friday. It is the last Friday of the month, so it's the 26th of February. It's in our meetup group. We'll tag it, so we'll make sure you can join it. But for the learning experiences, we actually have a co-working day coming up on the 10th of March in Busselton, where you can come and work independently while still getting to network and casually talk with people, so to create connections. And then also, Anthony, we have our business planning workshop that's coming up on the 11th of March. So the 10th of March, 11th of March. Wow, that worked out very well together. So we've got our business planning workshop coming up, which is for our members exclusively. So come along, meet other members, have a chat, hang out with us. We're going to be going over some awesome stuff, but there'll be plenty of opportunities in there to have breaks. Towards the end of March, we have another opportunity of a collaboration workshop, which we're running in conjunction with the City of Bunbury, which again, face-to-face, we're going to have some great fun at that one. I think that's going to be a good one. And yeah, lots of different opportunities where you can come along to learn some stuff, but also meet new people.
Wow, heaps happening.
So much happening. All right, well, we'll leave it there. Sorry, we've talked so long today, guys, a lot longer than usual, but we hope you've got a lot out of today. And if you have questions about networking, pop them in the comments. We'd love to answer and help you out.
Fantastic.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.